What's your reaction to this decision by the government?
We are shocked and becoming more furious by the minute, I think. Um, it's a decision, it's a disgraceful political choice made by very few, very powerful ministers who refuse to discuss it with the House. And they've come out with a decision they made a long time ago, I think. So it looks to me as though they're not looking at the evidence, but just making excuses for what they want to do anyway.
Do you accept what we heard Pat McFadden say there, that it's not practical because you would have to, with all these women, you'd have to determine what they genuinely did or didn't know, and that would be impossible at this stage?
So he's putting it on the too hard to do pile, as Steve Darling says. The evidence says that they got it wrong. They could have written to us much earlier and they chose not to. It isn't really anything to do with our case that Pat McFadden thinks we all knew. It's what the DWP thought at the time. And that's what the Ombudsman uncovered in a 6-year inquiry. It was who ran the DWP at the time knew that enough Waspi women didn't know, and there was only 5 years to go until we started. We weren't going to get our pension.
And can you explain?
so-
Can you explain what that has meant for some women? The fact that they didn't have enough time, effectively, to prepare or to accept that they should be working longer.
It takes a lifetime to save for retirement. It's not something you can do in 2 to 5 years. And the government did start writing to people in 2009 about the state pension age. And these were people who were affected by the 1995 Act. So it was some 14 years after they changed the law. But then they very cruelly decided to halt those letters going to people because they chose to raise the state pension age again for the same cohort of women. So women like me, for example, born in 1954, expected to get our state pension on our 60th birthday, 2014. I only got a letter in 2012 to say that I wasn't going to get my state pension until 2020. Now, that doesn't give me long enough to change the plans I had set up for my retirement some 10, 20, 30 years earlier when I started contributing to pension schemes and things like that. So to say it hasn't damaged us in any way, it hasn't caused any harm, is frankly untrue.
You said you are shocked and becoming more furious. This was the government rethinking and carrying out the review about the communication.
Yes.
Is this the end of the line for you, or do you think that there is something more that you could do to try to change their mind?
Definitely not the end of the line. And what Pat McFadden said was that full documents explaining his decision will be placed in both houses. So we will have a look at those documents and share them with our lawyers. It seems to me as though he has remade exactly the same decision as he made before on a foundation that the Ombudsman didn't share after a 6-year inquiry. I didn't realise it was Pat McFadden's job to actually redo part of the Ombudsman's investigation. If it is, it's certainly a waste of taxpayers' money paying for that office, isn't it? But they had a very thorough investigation, and we will look at Pat McFadden's full reasoning, share it with our lawyers, and decide what to do then. We certainly won't shy away from challenging the government if this decision, like the last one, is unlawful in any way.